Hi guys, thank you for joining Destiny Ignition again for this video. I would like to talk today about principles of vision and how you can be able to accomplish the vision that you may have in your mind or in your heart or in regards to anything. So I'm going to talk about principles that can help you accomplish and achieve your vision. As you know that in this world they have this saying that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, which simply means life needs to be directed um, by something. There has to be something that guides you. There has to be that precise, clear picture of the end goal. You can't go somewhere if you don't know where you're going. So today we're going to be talking about vision. Thank you for tuning in, and please like, share, and subscribe so this message can go out there to more people as we are here to learn and encourage one another. I'm going to talk about the principles of vision. I don't know what your vision may be, but I hope this will help you to have some practical guidelines or planning to know exactly how do you go from plan A all the way to your plan to fulfill all the plans you may have in your heart. So the first thing that I will touch on as the principles of this vision is for you to go somewhere, you need to be directed by a clear vision, and this simply means have a clear guiding purpose. You need to know what is your purpose, your cause, your outcome. Where do you want to go? Why are you here? What is that big picture, the cause? Vision is the why of existence. You need to understand that everything you do leads to something, and vision is that end goal, is that end picture you have in mind. And so, as we are talking about being directed by a clear vision, I want you to understand that this simply means that you need to have a clear picture in your mind, something that can be vivid, described, painted, that when people hear it, they can actually see it in their mind. A vision is always future focused. When you have a vision, it's not sidetracked, it's not past, it's always future focused, it's always to do with what is yet to come. And so a clear vision gives us passion that keeps us continually moving forward. Vision is a better future picture. So in other words, is you seeing the future better than your present or your past. So once you understand these, you'll be able to have these principles that I've highlighted, how to recognize the power of vision and effective planning. So these will help you on effective planning and to understand the power of vision. So the first point you need to understand is you need to be directed by a clear vision, a clear picture, something that is very clear. Don't mix everything up. Have something that is defined, something that you can be able to look back to, and it's so simple and it resonates with why you want to do that particular thing. The second thing is you need to know your potential for fulfilling your vision. So in other words, you got to know your potential. Potential is basically raw material, unused energy. So your potential is what your value is based on. In this world, a lot of people don't tap into their potential because they don't believe in themselves, and also they don't know that they're capable of doing more. So knowing your potential is so important. You'll never be effective or successful until you truly understand your potential. So you need to understand what you're capable of doing. You need to have time with yourself to sit down and also reflect and be able to identify your strength, to know what you're good at. In this world, people will tell you so many times that you're not good at this, that you can't do that you can't go there. But you need to take time with yourself and know yourself very well and know why you're here, and also know your potential. Your potential is determined by the assignment that the Creator has given you. So in other words, whatever you believe in God or you don't believe in Him, the most important thing you have to understand is you have been given something unique from everyone in this planet. This is why we are all born in different days. This is why we all look different. That's a good thing, because if we all look the same, life would be boring. So you got to understand that when you discover your dream, you'll also discover your ability to fulfill it. So in other words, they're all connected. Once you have the vision, when you see the vision, automatically the provision for the vision should be available, or you have to understand in you, by looking deep inside you, what are your potentials. Potential is hidden resources, capacity, and use power and release energy. Potential is who you really are, that nobody sees. Is that person in you that is waiting to come out of you. Is that person in you that is waiting to be unleashed. It's all about what you could become that you have not yet become. So in other words, Dreams are given to draw out what is already inside you. So when you have a vision, the idea is to bring out what is inside you to reality. And what is inside you is a lot. You have untapped resources inside you. You are pretty much like a gold mine, or like a place that has been explored and there's a mineral that is discovered that has yet not been mined. So you are basically a mining center. You have to look at yourself with value and believe in yourself that you are capable of doing more in this planet and on this earth, in your community, in your society. Stop being negative on yourself and putting pressure on yourself. So as I'm going on, I'm going to overlap with what I've shared first and my second point. So the first point is you need to be guided by a clear vision. So these are principles of understanding the power of vision and effective planning. So know and be clear exactly what is that end goal as the first point. The second point is you need to know your potential, because without understanding your potential, you won't be able to believe that you are able to accomplish your vision. So as we go down here, we will realize that what you can do is not determined by who your parents are or your past, physical factors such as race, background, but the power that is at work in you. So in other words, sometimes people limit themselves saying that, oh, I can't do this because my mom and dad were not like this. I can't do this because I was born there. As much as I want to be clear and direct with you guys that all these factors are true. We can be limited by our environment, by our genetics, but that is not the ultimate truth. We can overcome those things if we believe that we can make a difference, and taking those actions and changing our narratives or changing the narratives, because as human beings we have the capacity inside us to do the impossible, and that to do more than what people ever imagined that you could do. You have the keys in your hands to create the story that people have never heard before, or the story that people have never seen. So don't limit yourself to environmental factors as much as they are important. Of course, you have to go through a lot to overcome what you have went through in your environment and how you were born, because our parents play huge roles in our life. The values, the principles they put inside us, if they are wrong, then that means we have to work extra harder to overcome the challenges and the adversities of life. But you got to understand that you have potential. You shouldn't allow other humans to judge your potential. In other words, don't let people put the bar. People don't know what you're capable of. People can only react based on what they see in you. And if people see something great, then they will say you're great. But if they see something bad, then they will say you're not good enough. So people are very reactive. They don't have the discernment or the ability to be sensitive enough to know exactly who you really are. You are a mystery to people. So don't let people determine who you are and what you can do. Believe in yourself and believe in your potential. As we go on, I want to touch on the third point. The third point is develop a concrete plan for your vision. So we have touched on three things so far. The first one is, if you want to be able to fulfill your vision, you need to know first what is that vision. And I'm not going to go into vision boards and all these exercise people can do, because I want to be quick and precise. But next time we'll talk about how do we define a vision and how do we plan for vision. Now I'm just talking about principles of effective planning towards a vision. So the third point will be, you got to develop a concrete plan for your vision. To be successful, you must have a clear plan. Now in life, things don't always go according to plan. So you may be thinking, but I've planned before and I've been disappointed because the things that I've planned have never worked out. That's fine. All I'm saying is always have a plan, because a plan will give you a guidance. A plan will give you a direction. You see, failing to plan is planning to fail, as I've mentioned it earlier on. That is a popular saying in our society, and it's very important for us to have the idea of what exactly we want to achieve and how will we achieve that. When an idea is cultivated, or when ideas are cultivated, they become imagination. Imagination, if it is watered and developed, becomes a plan. Finally, if a plan is followed, it becomes a reality. Don't underestimate ideas, or otherwise you lose them. So in other words, all of these things that I've mentioned, such as clear vision, your potential, and thirdly now, being able to have a concrete plan, these are all principles. Because if you don't apply the principles, you can have all the great ideas, or you can have the greatest vision in the world, but you will never have impact. You will never fulfill that vision. So you got to be able to implement. You got to be able to work. You got to be able to put into actions things you know. Because sometimes you can know as much in this world, but you don't even apply the little thing. then you won't go anywhere. So I want to emphasize on this point of planning. When you lack a plan, you miss opportunities, because when you have a plan, you can be able to scheme. Okay, for example, let's say you want to buy something. You may not have the money for it, and if you are not a persistent person who actually tries and think outside the box, you'll just give up and say, oh, that's it, I can't do it. And in reality, no one should judge you, that's you. But if you are persistent, you are, resourceful, you'll ask yourself this question. Instead of saying, I can't afford it, how can I afford this particular thing? And then when you ask yourself that question, you'll put your mind to work. And when your mind goes to work, you'll actually start thinking about ways you can achieve that particular thing. Your mind is your servant. Let me repeat that again. Your mind is your servant. If you tell your mind 5 ways that your life can be destroyed, it will actually come up with those ways and actually implement them. But if you tell yourself that I can overcome these, your mind will go to work and find ways you can overcome that particular challenge you may be facing. And as we are continuing on this planning aspect, I want to use an analogy of a car, map, and a road. For example, you want to go somewhere. So first you need a car. Then secondly, you need a map. And then thirdly, you need a road to travel by, so you can be able to move forward and persist to where you're going. And as I use this analogy, I want you to imagine in your mind that your vision is basically your map, actually, your end goal, your direction, where you want to go. And your planning is your road, and your passion is your drive, is your car. Passion fuels you, it keeps you going. And as you have this vision, which is your map, and then your plan is your road, you can be able to go to your destination. So as a car is moving, right, the car needs to be guided by the GPS or a sort of direction so that it can know where it is going. And so this is why when we don't have a plan, when we don't have a vision, and when we don't have the passion, it's very hard to be progressive. It's very hard to go somewhere. You got to have a blueprint. Blueprint is very important. It gives you the idea of how things should be built, the blueprint of a house. Many of us like beautiful houses, good interior design, good layout. But all these things are strategically planned by the architecture and the builders. They have timed everything, and the project manager to know how long will it take and how much will the resources cost to build this nice house. So in other words, we have to be very clear that we can't be naive about the fact that in order to accomplish a vision, we need to have a concrete plan. What are your plans? Think about it. What are your plans for that vision you have in your mind? Have you ever thought about it, that you actually need a plan? Because you can sit in your head and dream about it, but actually if you don't sit down and say, okay, I'm here and I need to get here, and how do I get there? Then you will always be in this dilemma of being in a circle or in an endless journey of going nowhere. So your dream is worth writing down, your vision. So it goes back to, again, part of this planning is you got to write things down. And also spontaneous planning is not the best, because spontaneous is good for situation, but it's not really good for a project. Because if you are always spontaneous, then sometimes it will be an orthodox move and maybe it may not fit, but in some context it can work. You can make a spontaneous business decision, is a risk, and it could work, but in some cases it may not work. I won't get into this, but I want to just touch along it so that you can understand. You should be able to know that you can't tell your vision or your plans to everyone, because not everyone around you is actually desiring good things for you. You need to know good people that are meant to be part of your life and people who are not meant to be part of your life. You need to know people that add value, not people that take away things from you, not people that are there to just add numbers into your life. It's not about quantity, it's about quality of the people around you, people that are there to invest into your life, and people that you also can invest into their life. People that are there when things are not easy and there to lift you and to encourage you and to make you motivated, so that when you are in tough times, you will be able to continue. I want to go to the 4th point, and I will slow down as I continue, because these will be something that I'll be sharing over the next coming videos, perhaps so. Please like, share, and subscribe if this video adds value into your life, and let me know your thoughts through commenting and asking questions. And also, If there's something that you want me to touch along the lines of this subject, please feel free to give me some suggestions. The fourth point is you need to have passion for your vision. You can't be successful or productive if you don't have passion. Passion means no matter how tough things are, what you believe is bigger than what you see. So in life, things may not always go according to plan because life is unpredictable. So you got to be passionate. And passion is not just having energy, but it's this fuel that drives you, that motivates you to keep going. Passion means, as I mentioned earlier, it means no matter how tough things are, you should keep going. Passion keeps you focused on your vision. So a passionate person is really, really driven by the why, not by the fact that they're going to get something out of it. Now, look, we are all motivated by different things, right? And this is a subjective perspective. Whatever motivates you, that's good for you. I'm not going to tell you that don't be motivated by this, but we have to be motivated by something that has meaning. This is my point. Something that has a great meaning, not some shallow, superficial thing out there. Like, for example, if you want to start a business, you shouldn't be motivated by money because you will not last long in that business, because business is not really about just money. It's about resilience. It's about reforming yourself. It's about becoming a better person. It's about solving problems. It's about being able to think on the consumer and what are their problems. How can you build good relationships? And how can you keep a customer satisfied and be part of your database, to be like a family member almost psychologically, because customer will end up buying from you not because your products are just only superior and of good quality, but because they like you. So if you go into business thinking that all you're going to do is make money, there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is, if things go tough or if things go south, there's a high chance that you may not last. So passion is very important to be based on something meaningful, something that is important, or otherwise you'll be running around chasing things that are not valuable. So as I continue, I'm going to leave this on the last point, the fifth point, and I'll continue the rest another time. You got to develop faith for your vision. And when I say you got to develop faith for your vision, it means that if you don't believe or you don't have this audacity to continue in life, to continue saying that you will not be limited by present circumstances that are real. And don't get me wrong, life is not as we predict it to go sometimes. It can go in ways that we have never thought it could have gone. So you got to understand what faith simply means. Faith is the ability to see that thing that you want without it materializing yet. Faith sees the problems as opportunities. You can undermine your vision through negative thoughts. So in other words, when you look at your circumstances and you have not seen progress for a while, you can just conclude and say, this thing is not for me, I'm just going to quit. So I want to encourage you that have faith. When you start something, understand that everything in life, it starts off very slow, then in the middle it gets messy, but towards the end it gets better, because through the process of starting to the end you become a different person and you realize, you know what, it's okay to fail, and it's okay when things don't work out. That's not the end. The worst thing is when you throw in the towel and said, I quit. But if you persist, you learn the importance of endurance, perseverance, and that in life everybody goes through tough times. No one in this world has just woken up and they had it easy. Even the successful people have tough times. So I want to encourage you that have faith. Believe that you have the abilities to do what you have to do. And also believe that God, the Creator, has given you the resources you need to be successful. Trust in God and trust in the abilities He has given you. And also trust that there are good humans out there who have the same experiences like you and have overcame and have done great things, and you can learn from them. Look at mentors, read books, and also look up to great people that are inspiring and have great stories to share. So I want to encourage you guys that as you watch this video, take time to reflect and ask yourself, as this year has begun, that what is your vision? Where do you want to go by the end of this year? Or where do you want to go in terms of your projects or that goal you may have in your mind? And how far are you? Take time to reflect and ask yourselves questions that could make it easy for you to find a way out of where you may be confused, lost, and needs kind of direction. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for this time. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until another time, Have a wonderful day, morning, evening, depending where you may be. Thank you.